What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It is September 1st, 2019. Currently sitting with my smoothie, protein smoothie, as always. Love it so much. Anyways, it is Reflections 60. That means 52 episodes straight of recording these on a weekly basis. I'm a fucking gangster. I'm very proud of myself for that. Anyways, Reflections is a weekly episode where I get on camera after I'm done reflecting on my week and I talk about what I learned, how I grew, what I'm experimenting with, what's working, what isn't, what I'm thinking about, all sorts of random stuff like this in an effort to share my experiences with you and capture them so I can look back on them and have them documented and a million other more reasons. Anyways, I hope this is a kick-ass episode for you. Got some cool stuff to talk about, and without further ado, let's get right into it. And I also completely forgot to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Josh Moxey. I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, documenting my journey, and this is one of the ways I do it. So, without further ado, let's get right into today's show. What's been on my mind? The positive impacts of me getting a job. Yeah, it's just like, there's just so many wheels turning right now. I've been super fucking excited. Although I am fucking scared this excitement's gonna die off, I'm gonna try to maintain this passion as long as I can, and I'm hoping that the people I'm working with plus the love of the craft will just like keep it alive. That's my goal with that. But anyways, there's so many positive impacts and I'm focused on so many of them that are going to come from me getting a job finally at Starbucks. It's exciting. So much of my life is about to change for the better. It's such a privilege, and it all starts with something like this, and as well just like, again, just continuing to break patterns. Like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's about to change. Girls have been very on my mind. Yeah, absolutely. I am so scared of certain aspects right now. It's crazy. Anyways, they've been very on my mind. And yes, if you stick around in this episode, you can learn exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. What were my favorite wins? Alright, your boy is officially a member of Starbucks. I signed my contract thingy on Monday, which is funny because, like, if you remember in the last reflections for the challenges, I was like questioning, I'm like, am I actually hired? Do I have to do the interview still? I don't think I have to do the interview, and I think I am officially just hired. I start, I'm going in tomorrow to do what's called First Sip with Jennifer, and by the way, I just love her. She's fucking awesome. And I'm excited to meet the rest of the team, start training. I'm going to do my training at different Starbucks, which is Sports World Starbucks, which I am excited to do. Hopefully it's with Emma, because she was gangster as well. And yeah, anyways, I'm excited. There's so many positive aspects. I'm grateful. Very grateful. Also, this is the 52nd episode of Reflections in a row, which means that is a full fucking year of me doing this every single week. I respect my perseverance. I respect my dedication to this shit. I am really fucking good at documenting. Excuse me for the burp right there. Excuse me again. And yeah, I'm excited though. Hope this inspires other people. I really do. And I know like long term it's going to have a ridiculously big impact, and I might take a break at some point. I might just like start randomly skipping weeks now that I've done a year. Not sure. We'll see how that goes. I also have been doing a lot of editing. I'm slowly catching up now. Edited like 3 episodes of Reflections this week, maybe 4. I probably should have done more posting, to be honest. Cover that soon. Set up a lot of social appointments, meaning like hangouts and final things before I get started working. What else can I say? Designed a rave tracker, which is like a system. So I have this already set up in like a Google Sheet, if you will, but I moved it all to Notion, and everything's so pretty. It's it's organized by event, and then so there's one with events, like a page, a table with events, and then there's another table with the sets, and it's like all perfectly aligned. So each event has the sets tied to it, and each set has the events tied to it. Each has the dates. There's notes. There's the notable sets, notable songs. It's incredible. I'm so glad this works so much better with Notion. My God. I also edited a video for like a slideshow type of video for my aunt who is getting married this coming Friday, I think. Or Saturday, something like that. Anyways, it came out so fucking cool though. I'm very excited for it. It's just in rough draft right now, but I'm pleased how it has come out so far.
What worked?
Pomodoro is working great right now. When I use it, it's just like a fucking plus. A 25-minute thing makes it so much harder to procrastinate because it's such a short block. I can do 25 minutes. Very doable. A shit ton of caffeine. I have no idea how this worked so well, but I was able to handle it really well this week. And I was in like very high levels of caffeine. That doesn't make sense. I would be in it. But anyways, somehow working right now. Judging myself less. Yeah. It's just so much easier to move faster and get more done when you're not in a state of judging yourself and you're not in low vibration levels, if you will. When your mood is higher, it's just so much easier to get more done and to get it done faster. So staying in that type of accepting place is just so much more key. Embracing reflections being long as fuck. Ironically, I think this will be a really short episode. We'll see how that ages, but they have been so long from like 51 onwards, maybe until like last week or whatever. They've been really fucking long. So anyways, it is what it is. I don't want to try to chop everything off, so I'm just going to fucking leave it because they end up being like 45 to 50 minutes long. Usually in a perfect world I'd have them at like 30, maybe 35 type of thing, but it is what it is. Just embracing it and owning it. Trying to keep only the relevant details in a point or a story or whatever I'm sharing in conversation and in the podcast. I have a tendency to say a bunch of random pointless shit in my stories. So, and I'm not talking about Instagram stories, although that's true as well with that, but I just mean like literal stories. I share way too much. I need to condense things down, simplify things more. And I think I'm doing a better job of that, only keeping in the relevant details and 80-20, if you will, like focusing on the 20% of the story that's going to yield 80% of the emotional impact. In my catch-up, focusing on reflections because they are the most complicated and the most work of any piece of content that I do. It takes multiple hours to do a reflection. So I've got like an hour to an hour and a half recording, and then editing can take like 3 hours, 4 hours, detailing maybe an hour after that. Maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2. I don't know. It's not fucking short. It takes a decent amount of time, and I would like to even shorten up even more as time goes on, but it is just an important aspect of my life. And yeah, anyways, a lot of people are like, oh my God, why would you spend all that time on that? Because I want to have a greater impact than you. That's why. Oh yeah, so the main point I was trying to get at there is just like going at the toughest thing that's going to take the most amount of time first, and then it's just easier to do that. And then as I'm going, adding into my editing flow, if you will, the smaller episodes, because they're just so fucking fast to do. Slowing down my thoughts a little bit, and when I need to, just like practicing swearing a little bit less, which is ironic because I think I've been swearing a decent amount this episode. But the reality is, when I'm using the word fucking, which is the word I use the most out of any swear word, not just like fuck, but fucking, I use it in a way where it's an amplification word. So I can use other words instead, like really and super and very and absolutely and incredibly, and like things that are just amplifying the word that follows fucking. So I can use those instead. Have been experimenting with that and messing around with that. Also had some funny laughs about I once said very, very, or because I say very fucking as well, meaning like double amplification, and it's yeah. So I'll say like super, super, very, very, and I just know the person, if they know me, they know what the fuck I'm actually saying. There you go. Nice swear word. Accidentally. The whole point of why I'm doing this is I have to get good for Starbucks with no swearing, because it's just, yeah. What also worked? Using polls on Instagram. Yes, absolutely. Like, it just gets you so many more views when you're using polls. It's as if Instagram recommends your story more when you're using as many features as you can with within their product.
What didn't work, and how can I improve it?
My current meditation practice. Yeah. So my current meditation practice is me waking up to my alarm and then me like, hey, it's time to meditate. Usually don't set a timer. I just go back to bed basically accidentally. So I just like close my eyes again and then I try to do an awareness meditation, but I end up getting so lost in thoughts. It's actually crazy. So I might become super fucking peaceful. The whole point is like, it's overwhelming how many thoughts I'm having when I'm first awake. It's like I'm still partially in a dream. It's a mess. So, what is the actionable here? I don't even know what the actionable... Oh, probably get out of my bed. That would be good. Maybe start doing the meditation like second or third. So like do my journal first. And then, yeah, leave the bed as well. It's a very important thing. So, those types of things. Oh, and also like oak meditation or just going back to a little bit more guided. I just don't know if I'm fully ready for the complete awareness meditation because I feel way too attached to my thoughts right now. Waiting until last second to do the final items of my power list. I think I talked about this last week. It is still occurring. I did not fix it. Actionables would be making the items more specific, making them smaller, and then just focusing on doing only these things until I get them done. Those 3 points I think will speed up this power list and just get it done ASAP so I can get a fucking win on my day and get the momentum that it's designed to create. Too much consumption. I found myself at times this week just getting bored of music, getting bored of videos out of podcasts. Like, yeah, too much consumption is not good. And I found myself just getting too stuck and too sucked into this idea of constantly consuming all of these mediums, reading as well. Like, it's just like, sometimes it just becomes consumption overload. And I feel like I've hit one of those points right now, if you will. And I think it's time to just consume a little bit less, because when you're consuming, you're not like downloading from source, if you will. I mean, you could be if you're not paying attention, but I like to pay attention to what I'm consuming. So I want to take more time and just be, and just like almost like walking meditation, or just like existence meditation, if you will. Downloading from source, listening to source, embracing whatever it is in that moment, being completely present, practicing appreciation and gratitude. I don't always need to be just like learning a million different things. It can be a little bit overwhelming. So waiting until unreleased music is released and in my Apple Music to be happy. Silly as fuck. Like, I kind of just like learned this the hard way this week with Excision, Wooly, and 7 Lions' new song, Another Me. And it's a great fucking song. And I've been waiting for it for like 4 weeks or something like that. And I've been very fucking excited. And then it got here, I'm like, okay, this is nice, but like, why the fuck was I waiting for this for so long? And it's just like, it's just true with anything. We just wait for external things to arrive in our reality. It's just never, I don't feel like it's ever really that exciting, as it is just to be present and appreciate. Cause like, I don't know, it just doesn't fucking matter that much is what I'm trying to say. And I keep songs that are unreleased on way too much of a pedestal. And then when they get here, it's like, okay, what's next? So anyways, yeah, that's definitely a challenge in my life right now, but just like appreciating the now, appreciating what is in my library already. I have so many good songs, and I feel like I'm in this dangerous flow right now of what's next, what's unreleased, what don't I have, and how can I get it type of thing. Just, it's not very healthy. My vision's not top of mind enough right now. I think my main target before was get a job at Starbucks, and I've got a job at Starbucks, so now I need to re-clarify. I don't think I've actually taken the time to do this. So it would be good to get specific on a new target, so clearly define that, clearly define my whys behind that target, and then crystallize my priorities in conjunction with that and make sure they're all aligned, and then set up a Notion system for all my dreams, my goals, my desires, everything, every part of my vision. And of course, reasons and whys as well, and then tag them properly, and then set up images. If they're available, the images are just everything. So, yeah, I can set up multiple views and do this very fucking easily. So, I would love to do that because that'll keep me all aligned with where I need to go. Waiting too late in the day to post episodes. This is very related to that power list item. On some days this week, I found myself like waiting till last second on the power list to post the video, and then if I'm not inspired or I want to go to bed early, or it's just like I'm just feeling tired, I don't want to have to worry about having to detail an episode or just like whatever the case may be. It would be better if I just had things scheduled ahead of time. So that's the actionable. Either move my block of posting, if you will, to like earlier in the day. And that is a struggle for me because I do want to put like the most creative tasks first. But maybe I put it like 11 p.m. type of thing. Or sorry, not 11 p.m., 11 a.m. type of thing. And with the assumption that maybe I'm up at like 7 a.m. type of thing. But just scheduling, as my friend here, scheduling it later in the day, scheduling it tomorrow, scheduling it the next day, just getting ahead of things in my content calendar would be just super fucking nice. Waking up too late is another challenge right now. I am not going to bed early enough. And the actionable is go to bed earlier, and then, because it just makes it easier if I can just go to bed earlier. Plus wine, by the way. Wine really fucking helps me to go to bed earlier. And then stop meditating in bed. This has been the biggest challenge for me getting up early, is I just look at my thing, I'm like, okay, meditation time. And then I fall back right to sleep. So if I can fix that, that'll be fucking easy to crack the sleep schedule again. And I'm going to have some forcing function soon with Starbucks, because yeah, it's a lot easier to sleep in on your own schedule. A lot harder to do it when you might be fired by doing so. When describing that I got a job, downplaying and saying I know it's just Starbucks or whatever, this is a challenge for me because I know the world doesn't like respect Starbucks a bunch, but like I fucking care, like I really do care about Starbucks. I care about the mission, I care about the values that they represent, the company as a whole. I love the product. I'm fucking excited to start working there. I actually really fucking believe in what they stand for and what they're about. So I don't need to say though, that I know it's not the most glamorous thing. I'm sure people understand that. And I'm almost like trying to play into empathy and like let them know that I'm like, yes, I am aware. This is not like, I know I'm only going to be paid like minimum wage, but the reality is I fucking want to work there. So why the fuck do I need to sit there and explain myself and like try to justify? It just doesn't matter. Just doesn't fucking matter. And the actionable here is just letting the passion take over instead. Because the reality is I fucking want to work here. I'm excited to do this. It's going to be a lot of fucking fun. I'm going to learn so much. I'm going to build a ton of skill that's going to apply to other areas as well, like business and just in life in general. I'm going to break tons of patterns. It's going to be fucking fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't need to sit there and be like explaining myself, if you will. I can just do it and have a blast and let the passion shine. And that's the actionable, in case you weren't wondering. It is just a challenge for me though, just because like, I'm not sure people like respect Starbucks the way I do. So yeah, I hope people do, but at the end of the day, it actually doesn't fucking matter at all if they do or not. What matters is what I think about it.
What were my biggest lessons?
I am fucking set, and I'm going to destroy everyone because I am willing to work for free and I'm willing to go above and beyond my pay grade. So I went on Starbucks, the subreddit for Starbucks this week, to try to understand, like, is there any resources I can look at to start my training before I start my training? Because I want to get prepared in these next 2 weeks I have, and I just want to go and fucking crush when I start. I got 2 replies. One was like, hell yeah, love the initiative. Unfortunately, all the resources are private, but I would suggest like starting with, I think it was like steamed milk strategies or techniques on YouTube. The other reply was like, they're all private. Don't start because, and what it was the exact, let me get the exact thing. Do not do any training or working if you're not being paid for it. Time worked is time paid. Fucking loser is what I concluded in my mind. This is fucking sad, especially because this is apparently they are the supervisor for their store. Like, that is such a losing mindset. Oh my God. If you don't have the leverage, which I don't, or if it completely is in your best interest, which it is, this is a fucking great time to go above and beyond and work for free. Like, I'm doing this with Moxey Energetics. I'm going to even go crazier with Moxey Energetics because you have to be able to work for free to put yourself into a position where you can succeed. With training, you have to go above and beyond and go, like, if you start thinking about things in a fucking minimum wage mindset, you will never, and actually apply a minimum wage actions, you're never going to go above and beyond. You're never going to hit the financial situation you want to. You're never going to achieve that status you're looking for, whether that's a position or a wealth status, like whatever it is. You can't do that if you're not going to, like, you're not willing to do things above and beyond and go the extra mile. Like, if you're going so tit for tat, like, I will only do XYZ training or do XYZ thing if I'm paid for it, you're gonna fucking be an employee for the rest of your life, motherfucker. Like, you just can't rise above that with that type of thinking. And I was just so frustrated by that. So anyways, basically I just concluded, fuck yeah, I'm going to kill everyone in life, meaning in the net score, I'm just going to beat everyone because I'll be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do, and that excites the fucking shit out of me. So I'm very grateful for that. What else did I have written down here? Yeah, it's like, don't think so fucking short term here. By you doing this free, like for me, if by me training ahead of time, it is putting myself in a position long term to be compensated for it. And I don't need to be compensated for every little thing in direct short-term. Like, that's such a short-term losing mindset. Like, that will cost that person significantly in the long term, as well as pretty much everyone else, because almost everyone else thinks like that as well. Like, you need to be able to go above and beyond and do training for free and educate yourself. And like, these are all part of being a fucking winner. And that person clearly doesn't get it. And honestly, most of the world doesn't as well. So anyways, I'm fucking good long term is what the conclusion here is. Quick meta lesson for you. Every time I'm reading through my notes real quick and I like, or like that type of shit, like I'll start making noises if it's a really good point. That is my sign that it's time to read that point, or I should cover it, because I'm just like, yeah, it's very strange. I don't know why the fuck it occurs, but I just like start and it's just a sign that it's time to share this point because it could bring someone value. TikTok might be the next Instagram. Crazy to think about. I've heard this like a shit ton of times as I was catching up on Gary Vee this week. Like, I listened to a shit ton of Gary this week. And he's just going off the fucking rails with TikTok right now, saying that it like might replace Instagram if it ages up properly. And that's crazy, but it's true. Like, it always starts young, specifically with young girls. And then for some reason they just dictate like that. And like Atlanta just seem to dictate all culture somehow. Anyways, so that is crucial. And it's just time, I guess, for me to start learning TikTok, even though I really don't want to, but hopefully it will be in my best interest to do so. I require an environment of external acceptance, but most importantly, I require an internal environment of acceptance. So when I say that, I'm obviously talking about what's inside of me, how I am accepting or not accepting myself. I need to be accepting of myself. As I was doing this like light training this week for Starbucks, just like trying to learn about stuff, I was just freaking the fuck out and very overwhelmed about things. And I'm like, am I going to be accepted? Can I make mistakes? There's so much fear about making mistakes and like, am I good enough? There's a lot going on right there. Okay. And I noticed like, I'm not being a good enough supporter of myself in these types of failures and in these types of mistakes. And I need to be. I can't be waiting for these outside things that I cannot control, opinions, if you will, of validating me that it's okay, that I am good enough and that I am okay, even if I do make mistakes, and that it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I can't be waiting for that. It's helpful, yes, and it's important to have that around you and have that on your team, have that as your in your corner, if you will. But you need to be doing that internally first and foremost, because what happens if those people aren't there? You're gonna fucking crumble. So that's crucial for me right now with girls, with work, with business, pretty much every area. I just need to be able to do that for myself first and foremost, instead of relying on other people to tell me, and just like be more okay with making mistakes. It's not the end of the world. People are going to make mistakes. I am going to make mistakes. It's part of the fucking process. And just embracing that it's okay to fall the fuck on my face. If you cannot describe what your baby is, meaning like your product, your service, or whatever that is, and what it offers in a what's in it for them type of format, you're not going to be able to attract the users or the customers that you desire. For me, my podcast, I have no fucking clue how to describe it. I was listening to Big Questions, which is Cal Fussman's podcast, and specifically the episode with Ryan Holiday. He was talking about like you need to have a clear. So like, say I have a podcast, you need to be able to say it's for this type of person and it helps them achieve this specific result. This type of person being that specific niche, this type of result being the key benefit that the podcast offers. And he also mentioned like it's very like when you start a podcast or write a book or anything like that because he was specifically talking about communication and describing what your communication does type of thing in a benefit form. You need to have a mission, and that's when the podcast is the best. My mission, I noticed I was like, okay, my mission is to document my journey to becoming a world-class entrepreneur, or at least that was the mission. I'm not so sure that is the mission right now, but that like, why I'm saying this though is, I realized I just don't have that clear value, that clear mission like it should be. And I need to get that clear and down and specific. And I need to start asking like my power listeners, my power users, if you will, like, why do they listen? How often do they listen? And when they come back, what are they listening for? What are they trying to get out of it? What's the main benefit of the main use case or anything like that? And I want to know, like, I also need to crystallize, like, are these my right people? Do I need to start attracting more of a different type of person? Or like, there's so many different things. And like, would I like to start offering a different benefit, a different value proposition, if you will? There's just so many things. But the main thing is just like, let's get clear on why people use this, and let's do more of that. I think is another big part of that. Oh, and another thing, like the fucking intro point here, if you will. When people have it as their baby, if you will, something they're super passionate about, they like complicate it and they start telling everyone like something about it that is pointless to the end listener. They need to be able to explain it in a simplistic fashion, instead of going on about like how amazing your SaaS technology is or your back-end design is. Don't tell people about that because they don't fucking care. Tell them why they should listen, what the benefit is to them tuning in or using that specific service if we're talking about software. I haven't taken a deep breath in a while. Wow. No wonder I'm fucking stressed out right now. Okay, I really should have wore boxers. I am so uncomfortable right now. My balls are just everywhere. When I have options, I become more detached. This is a very powerful lesson across every aspect of life. When you have more options, you are not so like locked in on the one, and you feel more abundant in nature. And I think this is very also true with my specific situation this week, which was like I had a hangout with one girl, and then I was like flirting with other girls, and I'm like, wow, this feels so much better to know that I do have other options, and it's not just about one person. And it just took the complete situation off a pedestal, made me chill out a lot more. Granted, I still was freaking the fuck out for various other reasons. And it wasn't just like a freak out per se. It was just more me being stressed about outcomes, if you will, and my insecurities about certain things. Anyways, I'll probably talk about this in challenges. But yeah, it's just important to have multiple options so we're feeling more at peace, more abundant, more calm about things, and not so dialed into one, and always having backup plans, and like, yeah, just makes you feel better. People who genuinely care about you will be happy and excited for you just because you're happy and excited. For me, like, I'm sure there were a handful of people that were like, why are you working at Starbucks? And they don't give a fuck about Starbucks. But what they were happy about and excited for me is that I was happy, I was passionate, I'm excited to get started working there. And this is true with others as well. Like, I might not necessarily give a shit about the medium or the craft or whatever, but what I care about is them being happy. And that's like the first and foremost thing. Like, are you happy doing what you're doing? And are you satisfied? Is this bringing you joy? And that's what matters most at the end of the day. You could, like, I really don't like politics, but if someone was to be like, yo, I really want to succeed in politics and I like give a shit about them, I'm fucking happy for them. I really don't like politics, but what I give a shit about is if they're happy. So if that brings them happiness and they're not fucking preaching on me, I'm fucking excited for them, okay? Like, that's so fucking cool that they're gonna go down that road. So I love that. So for example, let's just like throw out, what's a good example? Something I don't like. Oh, I don't like country. Say if someone wanted to be like a country music star, I'd fucking support them 1,000% if I gave a shit about them, because I want them to be happy. And if that brings them the most happiness, then fuck yeah, rock on. Like, let's get down and dirty with the country lyrics. I don't know why I just said that. Anyways, you've just got to support people with their happiness ultimately. Like, if they are genuinely happy, I'm not talking about some bullshit happiness. I'm talking about like, if this is truly filling their soul, like, that is a great time to be happy for someone. And I feel like people are generally like that. And say someone's not happy for someone that's actually genuinely happy, that's a very sad human being. And you should almost feel compassion for them, because they're not happy if they're in that type of if they're in that type of mind space.
What challenges did I experience?
Low-level stress after listening to Gary's podcast. He's pushing TikTok and LinkedIn so hard right now. And I don't know how I can bring value on those platforms. I don't know basically anything about these platforms. I'm not sure if it's a good use of my time to be spending it in areas that I still haven't mastered, like YouTube or podcast or like any of these things yet. So I'm like, what should I do here? I'm not sure. I'm also scared of looking like an idiot in new mediums, if you will. If I am, there's a lot rattling around in my brain. Usually not the most helpful, because I don't even know why. Anyways, yeah, I don't know where to spend my time right now with that. I want to make more posts online about basically just like calling out indirectly. Cause that's the thing. I would love to like tag people, but I don't want to start fights. But I want to call out people and be like, yo, this is wrong. This phrase I believe is wrong. This is a false belief. This viewpoint is full of shit. Like that type of thing. But I don't want people to be like, fuck, that was about me. And I also really don't want people to be like, fuck, that was about him. Like, knowing that everyone knows type of thing. Yeah, but equally, I don't know what to do in those situations, because there is a lot of bad advice given out there. And not sure what to do. Tons of fear and overwhelm around being good enough, not making mistakes, being scared of failure, making sure I'm saying the right things and doing the right things, and making sure that I don't, like, it's almost like less of that and more like making sure I do not say any of the wrong things or do not do any of the wrong things. It's a slight twist in energy, but it makes all the difference. And I'm almost focusing on, that's not almost, I am focusing on it in the wrong way. And that's true with like girls, Starbucks, Moxey energetics. Thankfully it's pretty chill here for the most part, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, lots of stuff like that right now. Being fucking terrified of what to say to girls, hanging one-on-one is like the scariest thing for me right now. Like, I had a hangout this week, and I feel like I energetically pushed it away because I was so fucking scared. It got rescheduled a second time. I was pretty chill about it, which is good. But I was literally just like dying on the inside, meaning up until that moment, I was just like so scared. I'm like, should I be super direct about things? Should I stay more subtle? I just want to speak my mind, and like, I'm not sure how this is going to go over well if I just clearly communicate my intent 100%. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't want to date anyone right now, and I don't know. Because when I hang out with girls, it's probably gonna be for a hookup or just because I appreciate you as a friend. So, anyways, what else could I say here? Yeah, there's just like a pattern there of just like caring too much about the content, not being assured in my own intent enough, like self-assured, and a lot of just fear, irrationally. So taking the time to do some fear setting would be really fucking helpful for that.
Where did I grow the most?
Where did I grow the most? Swearing. So I'm not sure how I did today, but I feel like I'm getting better in general of just choosing different words and not feeling like I need to drop F-bombs every sentence. Just doing a little bit less, and like as time goes on, that's small chunks at itself, and I improve my vocabulary and choose more unique words, more thoughtful words, and just be more purposeful with the words I am choosing overall. Showing previews of my work as I go. This has been something that I've always struggled with, mostly because I don't want to be vulnerable in my work, and it was like an insecurity thing. I would like wait until it was great because I didn't want them to start like didn't want them to have fear of like, oh my god, this looks like shit type of thing. So, but with that, when I was doing Sean's wedding video, who's my aunt, I was sending her previews as I went because it's not my thing to just hold on till the end. I want to make sure that she actually likes what she's getting. I want to work with her as the time goes instead of waiting till the end and like having this. I used to put this thing on a pedestal of like, let's have the grand release. Let's cut the ribbon and everything and let's make it a huge event. Now it's more, I want to show people as I'm going back and forth and like, what's the word? Almost like play ping pong with them, if you will, with ideas, with feedback. I want to make sure they're loving what they're getting instead of me being so romantic about my point of views. What else can I say there? Yeah, it's about like solving the problems that she wants and hitting what she wants. It's not just about me and my romantic bit around having the grand reveal. And I also don't care about surprises anymore, so who cares? I sure don't. Being ahead of schedule as well. Like this felt so good to get this wedding video done. Like it's in like a week or whatever. And I'm so glad it's almost done. Like the rough draft is done, so I just have to do a few more tweaks and combine things. But I am so ahead of schedule and it feels so nice. Notice how I just said so twice there because I wanted to swear. But yeah, anyways, it feels great to just go beyond expectations for timelines because I've been historically quite bad at this. So, and I want to just continue applying this to other areas. Get ahead because it feels so damn nice. Quick note, by the way. I feel so inclined to want to swear right now. Like it's like a drug. Crazy.
What am I obsessed with right now?
What was I obsessed with? Caffeine, 1000%. I am way too cooked right now on caffeine. Might have some more after because I'm a crackhead with caffeine. Whey protein in my classic smoothie. I don't know if I said this last week, but I love it so much. It's like literal candy to me right now. It takes like a smoothie and just makes it so much better. It's crazy. I love vanilla whey protein so much. But yeah, adding it to my banana, mixed berry and strawberry smoothie with a little bit of goji berries as well and a little bit of Himalayan salt. So nice. Love that shit. Reflection 60 in the books. Thank you so much for watching and listening. That is 52 in a row. That is a full year. That's crazy. I remember last year when I was starting, I don't know if I expected to make it to this point without missing a beat, but I'm very glad that I've hit this place. It's grown me so much. It's crazy. And the stuff I talk about now is just like, we're getting closer and closer to just full transparency. That is ultimately the goal long term, though it might change as time goes on if I feel that it deserves to change. So always just going to do what I think is the best. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you got enough value, do me a favor, subscribe if you want to join along on my journey type of thing. Share with a friend if you felt it could bring someone else value. Comment, like, And if you're commenting, by the way, let me know what your favorite takeaway was and like what you got out of this and what the biggest benefit was for you. And again, thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, my name is Josh Moxey, and I will catch you later. And I hope to see you in the next 52 episodes.